Okay. Now I have completed the latter part. So now let us run this program and see. So if this condition is success, only this part will run. If this condition is unsuccess, only this part will run. So we already know that this condition is unsuccess because 5 is not equal to 10. So this part will not run, only this part will run. So let's compile and see the output. Right. So it says A is not equal to B. Have a nice day. So how it happens? So A is 5, B is 10. So we are checking whether A is equal to B. So this condition is unsuccess. So it will directly come here. So in this else part, it says to print this message. So that message is printed on the screen, and the have a nice day message also. Okay, now let's make A is equal to B. So I will make A is also 10. Okay, right. Now what should happen? Now A is equal to B. Then this part should run and this part should not. Right? Why A? It is checking whether A is equal to B. Right? So now A is actually equal to B. A is also 10, B is also 10. So we should be able to see those messages on our output screen. Now let's compile and run and see. Okay, now it says A is equal to B, right? And goodbye. Those two messages are printed on the screen. So how it happened? Now A is 10, B is also 10. Then our program is checking whether A is equal to B. So it is clear that in this case A is equal to B. Why? A is also 10, B is also 10. So it will run this part, whatever the stuff in those two curly brackets. So else part will not run in this occasion. So inside our if block, in those two curly brackets, we are having two statements to print this message, or A is equal to B, and print the goodbye message. So we can see A is equal to B and goodbye, those two messages. Okay, so that's how comparison works in C or any other programming language. There are similarity. And I want to say another thing. Now we have learned three control structures: sequence, selection, and iteration. So the sequence part we already know. Sequence means the order that you place these statements or steps, right? So it is obvious. The sequence part is obvious. It is present in any computer program, which means the order matters that you type or place your statements. So let's say we are taking those two statements down. Now I have changed the order, right? For this sequence I changed. Earlier this variable declaration was before the if condition. Now variable declaration is after the if condition. So I have changed the sequence or the order. So now what will happen? Now when the computer is trying to compare A and B is not given here. Before compare it should have it, but it is defined somewhere else. So I have changed the order, or the sequence of statements I have changed. I took them below the if condition. Now what will happen? So I'll compile and run. Now it will gives an error. Why? To compare, there is no A or no B. So if you are going to compare in this point, at this point A and B must present. But now A and B is not there. So that is the good example for sequence. Therefore, sequence of placing your statements or placing your commands or your steps, that is very important. So that is the very first control structure we learned. So the order is really matters in programming. So if you are going to compare A and B in this point, before that you have to define A and B. Likewise, that is the control structure sequence. So sequence really matters, and in any computer program sequence applies. Right, now we learned sequence and selection. Right, okay, in other sections we will try to uh, learn about different types of selection.